Chef for me is a gastronomy. It's an art. It's like a painting. It actually involves your heart, mind, and soul. It's also a form of like, I mean, how you give love to people that you really care.
Welcome to Unity Junction Radio, Season 14. My name is Brother Kyle, and if you've been with us since Season 1, first, thank you so much. And as we tend to do every new season, we're in a new place, but always we're with brethren from around the world sharing life stories and experiences and lessons. And today we're continuing our theme of success stories from brethren around the world. And this time, we're going to be heading over to Paris. And with me tonight, I'm going to try not to be too hungry, but we will be talking to an entrepreneur / chef. I'm joined with Brother Louie Balbuena. He is the director of sales at Quivera Marketing. He is the founder of La Brise Consultancy and an entrepreneur and chef, La Gastronomy Private Chef Services, all the way from the local congregation of Bastille, Paris, France, in the district of Western Europe. Brother Louie, Chef Wee, as we like to call you, how are you this evening?
Oh, bonsoir à tous.
First question in my head, what does a chef have for dinner?
We actually do not, think of what to cook for dinner or for lunch or for breakfast, whatever, like actually available in the fridge just to get it and something to create. Because you have the technique, you have all the knowledge, the sensibility of the food that you really would like to have. Do whatever actually makes you happy. That's what we do on the plate. Practical, but makes you happy, and then happy, tummy.
Because my perception is, as a chef, wow, he's having like amazing meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But as you just said, you're just like me, maybe. Whatever you've got in your fridge and your cupboards, that's what you do. But you said something that stood out to me, because the difference between you and I is you consider cooking a process of creation.
Chef for me is a gastronomy. It's an art. It's like a painting. It actually involves your heart, mind, and soul. It's also a form of like, how you give love to people that you really care.
Thank you for spending your time today and sharing your stories about your specific life experiences. So let's start with chapter 1, your origin story, your education and your previous jobs before moving to where you are right now.
I took my college degree in Tomas del Rosario College, which is a university also based in Bataan. A working student since I was first year college. I was given a chance actually to work in Bataan as a service crew. And then a year after, I got promoted as a junior restaurant manager, and the rest is just a history.
So college age Brother Louie was not Chef Wee yet. What did you want to be growing up?
When I was 15, the moment that I had those difficulties in life, I said to my mom, I wanted to be a chef.
Wow, so you really did want to be a chef when you were a younger college student.
That is right. I think the motivation behind that was when I was helping mom to actually sell food to elementary schools.
And what kind of food was that?
So we do banana Q, we do sopas, we do pulburon, we do arroz caldo, we do pancakes.
So little Chef Wee was in the kitchen with your mom making sopas and putting the wrappers on the turon and everything. Tama ba?
Absolutely, that's where everything started. Yeah.
But you also mentioned that you worked in fast food. I also worked in fast food, and it was one of the more formative experiences of my life being in fast food. Any important takeaways from that experience in your life?
So working in a fast food industry, I realized how important it was as my base when I moved to Dubai. The fast food chain, the management, the systems, fast food chain back home in the Philippines, whatever that kind of chain, basically they are very organized and systematic. In the international world where I am now, hardly companies are like that. I would say working for that fast food chain gives me so much knowledge and discipline that actually like I took those learnings from that experience to where I am now. It's basically the discipline that I got working from those companies when I was studying at the same time. So, in a nutshell, it is such a great learning experience, a great base to actually guide you systematically throughout, like being entrepreneur or a businessman, or basically to do something what you really like.
So take me from little chef Wee cooking with your mom to a little bit older chef Wee cooking with many other people in the fast food industry to today with where did you come up with Quavera Marketing and Labrise Consultancy and what you consider to be your baby right now, the La Gastation?
There are three activities that I do at the moment, which everything started in Dubai. So, Kivera Marketing is primarily, I'm responsible as a director of international business for the Middle East and Europe. We actually are the vendor and partners of the Mandarin Oriental hotels globally, with
Oh wow,
over 43 hotels that we actually are in partnership with. We supply them the luxury linens that whatever linens you see in a hotel, we supply that. So that includes the Mandarin Oriental, Park Hyatt, Four Seasons, Raffles. So that basically covers the entirety of the market. The Breeze International is my company, 100% owned, founded by me. So it's a consulting firm where I help a lot of brands, FMCG, food and beverage, non-FMCG companies who would like to basically enter into the Middle Eastern market. Because the expertise that I do have, the network channels I do have in the Middle East are basically covering that. La Gestation is my baby, because it is something to do with I am really passionate about when I was 15 years old as a chef. So it's a private chef services catering to A-list celebrities and executive and clienteles. Post the graduation, upon getting the diplomatic cuisine, where I studied at Le Cordon Bleu Paris 2 years ago. That's where I got actually the idea and form the business model. How can I utilize what I'm passionate about to form something really, really different to the international market, in particular with Dubai and Paris, and how I can fit.
Okay, so can I say like step number one was Quavera Marketing, step number two was Labrise Consultancy, and step number three right now is La Gastation. If I can say that, I'm just curious, what allowed you to make the jump from step number one to step number two to step number two to step number three? What was the trigger or the inspiration? Or maybe, I'm sure it was also financial. Like you can't start from zero and then all of a sudden start up La Gastation.
Absolutely. So it took me 7 years to actually figure out and plan ahead. What it differentiates between these three is basically like, though they are within the hospitality spectrum, but on different kind of activities. I combine what I am expert about in the international business, in the distribution, and what I am passionate about, which is the gastronomy and being a chef. These three basically like are under those two elements where I enjoy doing and basically meeting people and technically being strategic with these three activities.
I think you had a great start because ever since you were young, you knew you wanted to be a chef. Some of us, like me, it takes me decades to find out I wanted to do what I wanted to do. And then I guess, of course, like you said, it takes years. So you had to set up that network. And then you have your growing, beautiful baby that is La Gastation. I have to ask, because you mentioned it, an A-list celebrity, like, if you're allowed to say.
Yeah, a lot of executive level from global and international companies and brands that I do. I do collaborations actually here also in Paris, not only with A-list and celebrity, but also with premium brands in the food and beverage.
Okay, so with that kind of clientele, I'm curious, is there any overlap or common dishes that they all just seem to like?
So the fusion that I do, which is actually my forte, and I came up with this after studying the market both in Paris and Dubai. It is a modern French gastronomy fusion. I'm using the Asian ingredients, which I am so proud of, even ingredients from the Philippines, and using the French technique that I got from this school, which is the Le Cordon Bleu. Amazing.
Thank you for doing that, though, combining both. Yeah.
And then combining with both, you can create a gastronomic fusion where every single people love.
Can you give me an example of a dish?
So, for example, I uses singkamas actually to puree it, and then basically like with the beetroot, which is like quite not a popular, but it tastes so good. I sometimes use tuyo. Yeah, tuyo actually in one of the dish, but obviously I made my own tuyo because it can't be too salty.
Of course, you have to make your own tuyo. Ako, I'm just gonna look for the sa supermarket, but that's nice. Yeah.
And then a lot of like French techniques that was taught, and basically like that I've got to manage to practice, and basically combining those two. That's what modern people wants now, a different kind of style, not too big on the plate, but gastronomy. I am bringing the Michelin star experience, fine dining to the table.
I think you're in a perfect spot right now in 2025, at least based on my observations and the things that I watch online. I feel like parang Filipino food is finally getting the attention that it deserves compared to other, your usual Parisian, Japanese type of foods. I feel like Filipino food is finally getting a good amount of attention for, the flavors and the tastes. So thank you for combining, that kind of the fusion of the food that you do. Which brings me to my next question, where from Dubai to Paris and the different clientele that you have, syempre, they don't speak Filipino, right? I like, how do you deal with the culture and the language barrier?
Moving to Paris, from the beginning, where I decided actually like to study, though I've been traveling back and forth between the EU and the French market because I do have brand partners in France, a lot of them in the distribution company. Culture wise and the language, it was such a big challenge because I don't speak the language, though I do know a bit of their culture, but again it's not in depth. So how did I overcome those challenges? Basically like I needed to know the target audience, the target market, people who actually who are exposed to the international market, who travel so much, who basically like try a different restaurants across the globe or whenever they do business trip. Those people, I targeted them because they are the clientels. They are the ones who would appreciate actually the dish. They are the clientels who would appreciate the table setting. They are the clients who would appreciate actually like what I do. So I focus on those group.
Okay, that's interesting. Now, with the business model that you have, and of course, with our faith and our services to our Almighty God, there might be some clashes between the things that we believe in and then the things that, like specifically in our industry, your industry, maybe we have to find a way to balance that out. Many experiences there, especially when it comes to fine dining and some of the things you might have to remove from the menu.
So from the menu, when I was actually like when I decided to do this, especially in the French market where the majority of the clients, I mean, who dine in the restaurants like involve alcoholic drinks. So how can I retain my clients, the idea and then the concept without jeopardizing the overall experience of my clients? Now, I studied for a few months in the French market and in the UAE market, and I think this is happening now across the international market. A lot of people now are cutting down on those kind of beverage. Now, I saw that kind of gap where I could actually promote La Gestation, which is a gastronomy privé, catering to high-end clients, but without involving any kind of alcohol. Non-alcoholic beverage now in the market or especially in France are booming. I saw that opportunity to actually get it into my menu at the same time without breaking any kind of aral o laws o basically tuntunin sa iglesia. Kasi I always believe that, I mean, you have to align always with the doctrina, with the aral, with the tuntunin. That's how I saw the opportunity, and it's working.
I'm happy to hear that. Congratulations. But of course, it's been a very, very long journey for you. So, for all of our family and friends and guests who are watching right now, do you have any advice to those of us who also want to succeed, but in your case specifically, at an international level?
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever I talk to people, and basically, like, also I do a lot of startups advisory for free. It's my way of giving back to the community, both in Paris and Dubai, focusing on what you truly believe, you're passionate about, your aspirations and dreams. Do not stop until you get that. Even the baby steps, the small step, focus on that. Do not let anybody dictate to you, oh, that is not going to happen. No, those are just noises. Do that with integrity, passionately, you'll get it.
I have a specific question then. From baby chef we cooking with your mom in Bataan to, of course, where you are now, all the way in Paris, could you give me an example of maybe a specific hurdle that got in your way from reaching that goal? And how did you either break through it or find a way around it?
It took me a lot of time, energy, resources, especially traveling between Paris and Dubai to actually see the market, test the market. I even was traveling every 2 weeks, basically, like, to actually work in two restaurants in Paris. One is classic French and one is one-star Michelin. So those time, it was very difficult. It was a challenge, but I made it through. You just really need to push yourself to do it
So, working two restaurants.
at the same time. Three
One was French. I'm sorry, what did you say?
classic French.
Classic. What is classic French?
So basically, that's where the restaurant serves classic French food. So you've got au de veau, you've got the beef bourguignon. So you've got those classic French dishes and meal.
And then the other one was a Michelin star.
One is, yeah, and one was a Michelin star restaurants, where that is basically the modern French gastronomy.
So to get I mean, just for our audience, really quick, and for myself, what does it mean when a restaurant has one Michelin star, for example?
So one-star Michelin is a prestigious rating given to a restaurant. So you've got one, two, and three, three being the highest. So it basically ranks, depends on the type of service, the type of food, the consistency of it, the ambience of the restaurant, how fine dining, but at the same time, there is a customer satisfaction. There is a standard level of gastronomic experience and quality of the dish.
So basically, what I'm understanding from what you're telling to me is it's a lot of hard work. How did you do it every day to day? Do you have a notebook, a calendar, notifications on your phone? Siyempre, may panata. How did you do it, working two jobs?
Yeah, it took me a lot of, again, back to where I came from, the roots. It was the discipline. The discipline on how you are eager to actually do what you really want to do and push it through. When I was studying, even when I moved to Paris, hindi nawawala. I was always so excited sa pagsamba ng Thursday at saka Saturday, kasi that's the only outlet that I do have to actually talk to God and ask for the guidance. And kasi hindi ko siya kakayanin without the discipline, without the guidance, and without that faith, and then and basically, like, alam mo yun, hindi siya madali pero kayang-kaya. The outlet of pagsamba, panalangin, panata, obviously, without any question, napaka-importante and napaka-effective.
I like what you said about, like for yourself or for me and for all of our brothers and sisters who are abroad or even here at home, we're working so hard that Pagsamba, or the place of worship, is a place to kind of rest, like your physical body, your mind and your soul. And you also found that as a way to achieve your goals.
If I may add one more thing, yung gabay ng may tungkulin, and then yung panalangin, it really helps a lot. I really need to be within, and aligned with the gabay and with the tuntunin and turo ng iglesia. And for me to be successful and even more successful on that, we just need basically to follow those rules. Kasi it's napakadaling bawiin ng Ama ang biyayang ibinigay sa atin if we don't follow. As simple as that.
Thank you so much for saying that. It means a lot to all of us, actually, who are exactly in your position too, and who also have big dreams and goals. We'll go ahead and conclude this, and of course, wrapping everything up as we always do in every episode of Unity Junction Radio. Here's what the Bible says.
I only gave them this command: obey me, and I will be your God, and you will be my people. Do all that I command, and good things will happen to you.
Chef Wee, thank you again for spending your evening with us. And I want to give you the opportunity to greet the people who you care about in your life, and for also our audience members who maybe want to find you online.
Such a great experience and pleasure actually, like, to hear my stories, like, and I'd like to share more if I can. Yes, I'd like to say hello and I love you to my mom back home in Bataan. I hope you get well soon. I miss you so much. My family in Dubai, and basically like my networks in Paris. Ka-Christian, maraming salamat po sa lahat ng gabay and patnubay. I always grateful sa lahat po ng advice nyo, and sa lokal ng Dubai, Al-Quds, and sa lokal ng Basti, Paris. Maraming salamat, and hello to everyone. And thank you so much for today and the opportunity to actually share my story.
Okay, so let's say I'm also a business owner here in the Philippines in the food and beverage industry. Is there any way for me to get in touch with you with La Brise Consultancy, or one day have you cook with me in my own kitchen for La Gastation?
Absolutely. I do have an IG page, La Gastation, on Instagram. Bookings when you are in Paris or Dubai, it's basically on my website, lagastation.com, for all the international business related for the Middle Eastern region for my La Brise Consultancy. So it's labrie.com. Anything that you would like to explore on the fine linen, luxury linen, but sustainable, you have Kivera Marketing, which is based in the US. Happy actually like to take all your inquiries and all.
Again, maraming salamat. Now, for all of our families and friends and guests watching online, if you enjoyed and you were inspired to maybe to even cook a little bit better in your own kitchen by this episode, please do give this video a like and a heart. Please also follow us on INCP socials. That's Facebook, YouTube. Yes, hello, YouTube. Instagram and TikTok at weare.incpc. And also, please be reminded that you can catch Unity Junction Radio every Saturday at 9:30 p.m. Philippine Standard Time on INC Radio 954 kHz, and of course on our YouTube channel. And with that, maraming salamat again for joining us on this brand new season of Unity Junction Radio. My name is Brother Kyle, and of course we want to thank our Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, and our Deputy Executive Minister, Brother Angelo Eranio V. Manalo. All right, thank you for joining us on this episode of Unity Junction Radio. I hope you're as hungry as I am after this episode, because we'll see you again for another one next week here on UJ Radio. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
The prophecy of God came true. last days, who was sent by God to show the way for all mankind to know the truth. In the Church of Christ we will be saved if we remain till that great day. All of us will gather there if we have true faith. He's the messenger of God in these last days.
Through His word, God's mission strong, brightly all across the world, and He labored so the world will come to know the church. His dedication never ceased. Through His preaching truth we came to know, so that all would receive the salvation when the Lord returns. And He was not afraid of the duty He was given. He never wavered in His hope or faith. He never stopped believing. And now the church continues to go strong. It's through God's love for us, for us. Oh. He was the messenger in these last days, who was sent by God to show the way for all mankind to know the truth. In the Church of Christ we will be saved if we remain till that great day. All of us will gather there if we have true faith.
He's the messenger of God in these last days. It's because of our Lord God we are able to know the truth. Led by the messenger in these last days.
Through all the tests and trials we have been given, we will stand our ground and never stop believing.
We will be strong together. We will hold on.
Till the day we meet the Lord.
He was the messenger in these last days, who was sent by God to show the way for all mankind to know the truth. In the Church of Christ we will be saved if we remain till that great day. And all of us will gather there if we have true faith. He's the messenger of God in these last
Here we have conversations that inform, educate, and inspire people. That's UJ Radio.